Hey everyone, Ryan here with Game or Die, and today we're going to be reviewing Pirates of VR Jolly Roger. Now, if you know me at all, I love me some pirates. I mean, you can see right there. I've also gone to all three premieres or world premieres of Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, the original trilogy way back when in the early 2000s at Disneyland. It was so much fun. So I'm all about pirates. And obviously, Black Flag is like the gold standard of pirate video game, right? And we got Sid Meier's Pirates right underneath that. Now, with VR allows you to dive deep into a world and experience everything that it has lovingly crafted for you. And that's kind of what Pirates VR Jolly Roger is going on. It's allowing you to step into the boots of a pirate that has been somehow shipwrecked or whatever on this desert, tropical island, and you kind of have to figure out what's going on. They don't really give you much of a story from the get-go, and even as the game progresses, it doesn't really tell you what's going on. You experience and figure it out on your own as you explore the island, which I thought was really cool. It's a different and unique way of giving you or the player a story. And I actually really like that. Now, you do have a parrot sidekick that kind of squawks at you and kind of tells you what's going on as you play, but he's never been a nuisance. He never was a nuisance for me like most other characters are in those types of roles. So I thought that was awesome. Exploring the very basics, the tutorial area was actually really nice and neat and fun, even though I did get a little sidetracked or I did get a little stuck in one area for about 2 minutes, just kind of going, where should I be going? What should I be doing? And it was mostly because my parrot sidekick, who was kind of leading me through like a breadcrumb trail where I was supposed to be, I was kind of going off doing my own thing because I was having so much fun in the world. And that's what I love about VR. You experience these worlds, you dive deep into these worlds, and they're all around you. And that's kind of the coolest part about these video games. So as the game progresses, you start diving deeper into caves and kind of almost spelunking in a way. And then you solve puzzles, which is awesome. I was not expecting that at all from this game. And then the game kind of becomes a dungeon crawler. The game allows you to basically cut and go through these little areas and sidetrack these little dungeons and prison cells with enemies. And the enemies are skeletons. Oh yeah, of course, the undead, right? And these skeletons aren't shambling around, walking slowly and menacingly towards you. They frantically sprint straight at you. It's something out of 28 Days Later or some of the George Romero zombies where they're moving a little bit faster. So I thought that was actually really cool. Now, what we got here is basically this hodgepodge of multiple different, things that are going on, and the story, like I said, doesn't hold your hand. I really think that they do a very good job of environmental storytelling in this game, where you are going through caves and prison cells and other places. I don't want to give away too much, but the combat and the things that you find and the things that you kind of explore all build up to this really cool final boss area. And the final boss area, I think, was one of the best parts about that game. Now, unfortunately, it is very linear, and that's honestly one of the only things that I can say about the game is it's so linear that you really have to know going in to really comb through every area before you move and progress, because once you do, there's no going back. And so every area is lovingly crafted with a bunch of different little things, and if you find all the hidden items and the collectible pieces, you can spend those, which is super cool. You get to use the collectibles that you collect throughout the game on activities. So like in the first area, there's a speed climbing wall where it times you on how fast you can climb. And then in another area, there's an axe throwing area where you actually spend your tokens or your collectible money basically, to do this weird little mini game of axe throwing. And the axe throwing is actually not magnetized. Like normally when you have that stuff, you are magnetizing when you're throwing it, so it just like automatically teleports to the target. But the axes bounce off if you don't throw it correctly, and it is physics based in that way, and I love that. I think that was really cool. They didn't need to do that, and they spent the time to actually make it work properly instead of just tossing it and having it go right into the thing. It can bounce off, fly back at you, and I dodged a couple of times going, oh my gosh, that axe is coming right back at me, and it's kind of a little terrifying. So the game is very linear based. It is very combat heavy in the back end of the game too. And I was kind of a little bit apprehensive about that at first. But as I started kind of getting into the groove of learning how the pistol reloads, which again is a really great mechanic, where you have your pistol, it's a one-shot pistol because it's pirate based, right? So it's all gunpowder and stuff, and you're not packing it. I thought I was going to have to pack it, and sometimes that can be a little bit laborious. But here, you just kind of bring your pistol to your pouch. You have like an ammo belt pouch, and that bag of bullets will automatically reload if you just kind of tap it to your belt. And so I thought that was really cool, because there are several times where the game will throw multiple enemies at you, and they're moving fast. They're sprinting along, they're moving really crazily fast, and I had to dodge and duck and dive and weave and bob throughout all these enemy encounters, and reloading would have been a pain in the butt and very frustrating if I had to pack each bullet and with gunpowder and all that, and you don't have to do that here. The lantern also was really cool, because when you're spelunking, you're holding up the lantern and kind of peering in and, you know, kind of lifting it up or lifting it down to kind of get a better lighting view of what you're looking at. Really cool stuff. There's been a couple games, not just in VR, but even flat games like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, that are using those lighting mechanics and techniques very, very coolly in games. Oh man, I just love it. So what do I honestly think about Pirates VR Jolly Roger? I thought it was a blast. I thought it was well worth the $20 price point. And this is something that I experienced immediately, this joy of being a pirate. Now, it could have been a little bit more piratey throughout the game. I think that I got really focused on certain puzzles and certain quest lines that you're doing throughout the game. And like I said, it's pretty linear. I would have liked a little bit more themed pirate stuff than just fighting the undead. I would have liked some other pirates to talk to or converse with. And that's where I think the pirate motif kind of dips a little bit, is just you don't get anyone to talk to, so you're not hearing the pirate voice and, you know, the accent and all the shiver me timbers and all the old school English type of language that the pirates would have had. No one's doing that, so you don't get that as much. But other than that, I thought it was a fantastic game built by a small developer, and these are the experiences that I want to focus on in 2025, is to kind of veer off a little bit from the main AAA big budget titles and focus more on indies. Focus more on the independent groups that are creating these smaller in scope games. Maybe it's the first or second or third games where they're really focused on either a narrative or a gameplay mechanics, and it's a smaller scope that we're not used to anymore. But we used to get that a lot, and so I loved this game. I thought it was fantastic. This is the type of game that should be being made and being brought to the forefront of not only VR, but just games in general, where we are getting better, bigger experiences without having to focus on, well, they did this storyline wrong, or they flubbed this line, or whatever. No, this is a smaller, more crafted experience. It's art in the general sense of the term, right? And that's what I love about these games. And I would highly suggest anyone who loves pirates, loves VR, loves story-based narrative-driven games that are more linear focused and not so much on the gameplay aspect, but more focused on you having a fun crafted experience, check out Pirates VR Jolly Roger. It's well worth your money, and man, I had a blast with it. Thank you for making this game. Split Light developers, and I cannot wait till I cannot wait until I see what they come up with next. Until then, take care, God bless, and I'll see you for the next review. Bye.